Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for coming. My name is Nick Hanna. I'm the U.S. Attorney here in Los Angeles. I'm joined on stage here by members of the FBI and the Los Angeles Police Department to announce the results of two separate investigations that targeted two notorious and violent street gangs operating in the Los Angeles area. This morning, federal agents and local law enforcement officers fanned out across the country and arrested 38 defendants named in a series of grand jury indictments that targeted two gangs. Florencia 13, which is a multi-generational gang based in South Los Angeles, and the Vineland Boys, a gang that broke off from the 18th Street Gang in the 1980s and that is based in East San Fernando Valley. The FBI will discuss some of the operational details of today's arrests, and I'll talk about the investigation and the resulting charges against a total of 81 gang members and gang associates. First, let me address the Vineland Boys. Just over 15 years ago, two members of the Vineland Boys started a gun battle that led to the fatal shooting of Burbank police officer Matthew Pavelka and Officer Gregory Campbell. The officers killed one of the assailants and the second was captured, and he's currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. That shooting incident spurred a federal investigation into the gang, and the following year my office obtained indictments of approximately 50 gang members of the Vineland Boys. The criminals went to prison. Some are serving life without parole, and the neighborhoods they terrorized were cleaned up. Over the ensuing years, a new generation of Vineland Boys emerged. Once again, they're plaguing their communities with violence, with drug trafficking, with extortion and other crimes. They're aggressive, they've become more emboldened, and they regained their swagger. But that all comes to an end today. Once again, federal and local law enforcement have teamed up to punch back. Earlier today, as part of Operation Sunset, law enforcement officers arrested 27 people who are either gang members, gang associates, or people who were allowed to traffic narcotics in Vineland Boys territory. Operation Sunset resulted in 5 grand jury indictments that allege a total of 45 defendants committed a host of crimes, including violations of the federal RICO Act. Most of the defendants face racketeering or federal drug trafficking charges, and they face lengthy prison sentences. The indictments allege a series of violent crimes related to the racketeering enterprise, including attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. Over the course of 193 pages, the RICO indictment outlines how the Vineland Boys attempted to control their territory through fear, through violence, and through extortion, by trafficking large amounts of methamphetamine and heroin, and by selling firearms, including assault rifles. The indictment also alleges that one of the defendants manufactured ghost guns, untraceable AR-15 type weapons that are specifically made for the black market and that the gang purchased to use in the commission of crimes. The gang's brazen acts of violence alleged in the racketeering indictment include the April 2016 shooting and attempted murder of a rival gang member on Lankershim Boulevard. The following month, another man was shot and wounded nearby. And in September of 2016, one victim who attended a party in Vineland Boys territory was threatened with a gun and brutally pistol whipped. Now, in addition to the Vineland Boys takedown today, a separate investigation by the FBI and LAPD this morning resulted in the arrest of 11 members and associates of the Florencia 13 street gang. That operation, dubbed Operation Friday the 13th, resulted in 6 indictments that charged 36 defendants with an array of federal crimes, including participating in a racketeering conspiracy and drug trafficking. Like today's actions against the Vineland Boys, this is not the first time we have targeted Florencia 13 with federal indictments that focus on the gang's leadership. Though violent street gangs such as the Vineland Boys and Florencia 13 have sought to reassert themselves in our neighborhoods, one thing has not changed: the determination of law enforcement to ensure justice is done. Coming on the heels of several major gang takedowns last year, today's arrests are part of our overall strategy to reduce violent crime in our neighborhoods. We will continue to target violent street gangs and will not rest until safety and security is returned to our communities throughout Southern California. I want to thank, congratulate, and applaud the men and women of the FBI and the Los Angeles Police Department for the tremendous work on the investigation that led to today's operations.